Germans. Who are they? What do they want from us? And what mistakes do they sometimes make when speaking English? Guten Tag und Servus. My name is Austin, and I should really not be in the business of correcting the English abilities of Germans, as you can clearly tell watching this video where I take a swing at your language, flawlessly, might I add. However, you Deutsche Leute are always looking to improve, which is something I love about y'all. So I'm sharing a few things that always caught my ear when you're speaking English and made me go, we're not quite there, not quite right, almost. So first up we have funny versus a lot of fun. Now this is definitely the least common on the list, but I have heard it enough to count. So first is understanding the distinction in meaning between fun and funny. It's quite simple, but I can understand why it would be a little bit confusing given the context. So a good joke is funny. It makes you laugh. It's witzig. An enjoyable experience is fun. But funny is never used to mean a more fun experience. For example, if you want to communicate that you had a really nice and enjoyable, day at the water park, you would say, our trip to the water park was a lot of fun. You would never say, our trip to the water park was really funny. It sounds weird. It just doesn't work. So the second offense on this list is a friend from us. And now, guys, I hear this one all the time. It might just be one of the most common mistakes I hear from Germans. I would consider highly proficient in English. So here's the breakdown. Ein Freund von uns is not a friend from us. The correct phrasing is a friend of ours. We use of plus the possessive pronoun, so a friend of mine, a friend of yours, a friend of hers, a friend of ours. You guys get the point. You know this stuff. It's just sometimes you don't say it a lot. A lot of the time you don't say it. So this next one is actually one of my favorites to explain, and it's the difference between shade and shadow. So in English, unlike German, we have two words for Schatten, shade and shadow. Though they basically mean the same thing, they are used in slightly different context. For example, when I stick my hand in front of a beamer, which we call a projector here in America, fun fact, my hand creates a shadow that looks like a rabbit. In contrast, when I am on the beach, I go and sit in the shade under the umbrella to cool off. In a way, shadow is active and used with all forms of light, while shade is more passive and generally only associated with blocked sunshine. So finally, we have teach and learn and study. Now these three verbs have unique and specific use cases that are sometimes jumbled up by you Germans, and I know you know what they mean individually, but I'm still gonna go over them definition-wise, so just bear with me. So the verb to teach, is closely associated with the one-way transmission of knowledge or skill from a person or experience through the intentional process of showing or explaining. A teacher teaches you something, like in a classroom. Learn is when you absorb information or skill. I'm learning how to do a kickflip on my skateboard. I learned a lot from that video series comparing US and Germany. Shameless plug, but we're gonna keep it. And finally, we have to study. So in German, if you need to prepare for an exam by reading and practicing the material, you would say, of course, ich muss lernen. In American English, this does not translate to I must learn. You all sound goofy and weird to Americans when you say this. Of course, we know what you mean, but we use the verb to study in this context, and the common phrasing would be I need to study. For example, you could say, sorry, I can't go out to the bar with you guys tonight. I've got an exam in the morning and I really need to study for it. All right, so here are a few examples that use all three. Thanks for teaching me your trick on how to solve that difficult problem. You explain things well, and I feel I learn a lot from you whenever we study together. I learned a lot in my math class, but I'm not sure if the reason I learned so much is because the teacher taught the material well or because I studied so much before each exam. All right, folks, well, if I haven't insulted your intelligence too much and you enjoyed the video, bitte schick mir eine Daumen hoch in the section down below where the like button is. And if you like this video, check out my other videos relating to the great land of beer and bread. I lived in Germany for a year and I learned a lot, and I have a lot of videos comparing the two places in various ways. So thank you for watching. My name's Austin. This is Outer Space Productions, and Deutschland.